everybody, it's Christy Morgan, the Blissful Chef. Today we're going to teach you all about how to use your Dutch oven cast iron. And I'm here with my roommate Matt, who is a Dutch oven connoisseur and does a lot of camp cooking. So we're here in my backyard and we're going to show you how to make a cornbread using a Dutch oven, which was really what they used to do back in the day, right?
Correct. So today we're going to make some Dutch oven cornbread. And so what I've got behind me is my cast iron Dutch oven. Some things to remember about the Dutch oven you use in a campsite is that these typically have 3 legs and a big lip around the lid to hold your charcoal on top and to elevate the bottom of the pot for the charcoal under it. So it's a bit different than your standard Dutch oven that you'd use in your kitchen, but they're about, it's cast iron, so what you're looking for is a good heat conduction for your oven. And so we're going to start with, we've got flour, cornmeal, almond milk, baking powder, a little bit of sugar, grapeseed oil, basically any kind of fat that you enjoy using, and a little bit of salt. So we start, and the thing about some campfire cooking is a lot of times we're using kind of a do it by feel, but we kind of made something of a recipe, and so we're going to start with a cup of all-purpose flour and about 3/4 of a cup of cornmeal. Alright, 3/4 of a cup of that. Now there's different ways to make cornbread, of course. I prefer a savory style. If you like a sweet cornbread, you might want to add a bit of an agave nectar or some evaporated cane juice, whatever sort of sweeteners you prefer. And we've got our baking powder. I'm going to use about 2½ teaspoons of that. I'm going to stir that together, get it a little combined. Then we're going to make our buttermilk, which is, for the vegan versions, we add a little bit of vinegar. Alright, so we've got our almond milk, which you're welcome to use coconut milk or soy milk, whatever you prefer. I usually recommend using unsweetened milks when you're cooking because you can always add sugar, but it's hard to take away. So we've got about 1¼ cup of your almond milk. And we're going to throw in about 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. Any sort of vinegar works. I prefer apple cider myself, but white wine vinegar or just standard white distilled is fine. And you're going to whisk that around, get your tangy milk substitute until it gets nice and frothy. And while that's doing that, we can add just a pinch of sugar to our cornbread. Alright. And we're going to need about 1/4 cup of oil or any other kind of fat. I'm using grapeseed oil today, but you're welcome to use safflower oil or any oil you prefer. So this is looking good. We can add our liquid now. And just give it a good stir. Now if you are doing this by feel, it should get to about a pancake batter consistency. Okay, so we're putting about 1 teaspoon of oil in our pan, or maybe 2 teaspoons, depending on the pan size. But you want to coat the bottom of the pan with oil. We're going to put that in the Dutch oven to preheat right until it gets to smoke point. So it's nice and hot. Your Dutch oven should be preheated to about 400 degrees. It's a good idea to get a kitchen, like an oven thermometer, which we've got in our Dutch oven. We can take it right over here. Now my grandmother always said it should sizzle when it goes down. That's how you know your pan was hot enough. So it's going to take about 20 to 30 minutes for this to finish cooking. Of course, the best judge, in my opinion, is always a toothpick, just to make sure it's done. And we will cover that back up. And we've got that out. We'll take our mason jar lids out, set those to the side. And now, we flip the Dutch oven over. Now these are the 3 legs I was talking about a second ago. Get that to an even surface. We've got the charcoal on the bottom of the Dutch oven like this, and the 3 legs are going to hold up our lid to make a sort of saute area. You can use this as a griddle or a wok for a number of different applications in the campfire.
So I'm going to make a little tempeh sausage to go with this cornbread. It's going to be delicious. Basically, I just steamed some tempeh and I crumbled it up into this bowl. And I'm just adding spices to taste. And the recipe's on my blog at theblissfulchef.com, so go ahead and check that out. We're going to preheat our skillet that we just made with some oil. We're using a high heat oil. I got some dried sage here. We're going to do a tamari. I'm going to do about a tablespoon of tamari and a tablespoon of balsamic vinegar. So this is going to flavor it. Also, I like to add a touch of maple syrup because I like my sausages a little bit sweet. And so that's an optional thing for you to do. So we're just going to stir this all up here till the tempeh is well coated. And then we're going to saute it on our cast iron skillet. So basically, you're going to saute this like you would a normal saute, but I want it to get kind of crispy, so I'm going to line the cast iron with the tempeh and let it cook for a few minutes on this side, and then I'll flip and cook a little bit on the other side.
All right, we are good to go. Now we can carve the cornbread. All right. Now you can serve that as a slice like this with the tempeh around it. I personally like to split mine down, and you can serve it open-faced with your beans, or in this case our tempeh. And we'll just put our little topping like that. And you can garnish it however you'd like. Some parsley, some limes, you know, get creative.
How is it?
Quite good.
That's a good idea with the tempeh, huh?
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
And I'm a big fan of mixing my grains with my legumes, so we've got corn and soybeans here, so it's quite a nice balanced meal. Lots of energy for a camp out and a hike.
Well, thank you for joining us. I hope you had fun learning about Dutch ovens and camp cooking. And as always, have a blissful day.